Christina sat by the window, watching the rain fall slowly. The drops tapped gently on the glass, like memories asking to be let in. She held a warm cup of tea in her hand, but the warmth didn't reach her heart. It hadn't in years. Her fingers trembled slightly as she touched the old photograph lying on the table beside her. A man smiled back at her from the picture. Johnson. His eyes, deep and kind, held so much love. The kind of love that stayed with you, even after he was gone. Christina whispered his name, and the sound of it felt like a ghost brushing past her lips. She closed her eyes, leaning her head against the cold glass. This was their anniversary. 15 years since he walked into her life. 10 years since he walked out, not by choice, but by fate. Back then, Christina was different. She wore short red dresses, lipstick the color of wine, and laughter like perfume. She had dreams, big and wild, and didn't believe in waiting for life to happen. She chased it. She wasn't searching for love. She was searching for meaning. Johnson was the quiet type. He read books about stars and wrote poems on napkins. He didn't chase anything. He waited. He observed. He fell in love quietly, like petals falling in the wind. They met in a bookstore. Christina had walked in with the wrong kind of confidence, asking loudly if they had any books on real life. Johnson was standing near the poetry shelf. He smiled, then offered her a book of Pablo Neruda poems. "This is about real life," he said, his voice soft. She laughed, loud and amused. "Poems, please." But she took the book. She didn't read it that night, but she remembered the way his eyes didn't judge her. They just saw her, and somehow, that stayed. Their love didn't explode like fire. It was a slow burn. A friendship that turned into late-night walks, hands brushing against each other but not quite touching. Then came shared secrets, glances across crowded rooms, and finally, the moment he kissed her under a streetlight when it was just starting to snow. Johnson loved her completely. He saw through her layers. Behind her charm, her boldness, her laughter, he saw the girl who feared being alone. He saw the girl who believed she had to be beautiful to be loved. "Christina," he told her once, holding her face in his hands, "your sex appeal is not what pulls me in. It's the way you fall apart and still smile. It's the way you carry your pain with grace. That's beauty. That's what I love." She cried that night, not because of the words, but because someone had finally said them. The years passed like pages turning in a forgotten diary. They built a life, a small apartment with creaky floors, a garden on the balcony, music that played during dinner, silence that felt safe. But not all love stories are without pain. Christina couldn't have children. She had known for years but never said it. When Johnson found out, he said nothing. He only hugged her, tightly, as if trying to take away her shame. "It doesn't change anything," he whispered. But it did, for her. It changed everything. She started to pull away. Slowly, gently. She wore lipstick less, laughed less. She looked in the mirror and saw a woman who couldn't give the man she loved the one thing he dreamed of. She offered to let him go. He refused. He held her in his arms and said, "Love is not what you can give me. It's who you are. I don't want a child. I want you." Still, she carried the guilt. It became her second skin. One summer, Johnson fell ill. First, it was headaches. Then memory loss. Then tests. Then silence. Then the truth. A tumor. Inoperable. 6 months, the doctor said. Christina didn't cry at first. She cooked his favorite meals, sang old songs, held his hand in the dark. She believed if she loved him enough, she could stop time. But time, as always, didn't care. In the last weeks, Johnson barely spoke. His eyes lost their light, but never their warmth. He still looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered. On his final night, she lay beside him, holding him. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have given you more. A family, a future." He smiled weakly. "You gave me everything." And then, like the last page of a book, he was gone. Years passed. The world moved on. Christina did not. She never loved again. She never wanted to. People often said she was still beautiful, that she had this appeal. Something about her made people look twice. Maybe it was the way she walked, or the quiet sadness in her eyes. They didn't understand. Her beauty was carved from grief. Her glow came from a love that burned so deeply, it left a scar that shimmered in the light. She often thought of Johnson's words, "It's the way you carry your pain with grace." That was her embrace, her comfort. His voice stayed in her, like a lullaby. Christina knew now, sex appeal wasn't in the way she moved, or dressed, or smiled. It was in the way she survived. In the way she kept loving long after he was gone. In the way she woke up each day and whispered his name, like a prayer. Tonight, the rain still fell. Christina walked to the old piano by the window. She touched the keys gently and played the song Johnson loved, the one they danced to on their 5th anniversary. Her fingers stumbled at first, but soon, the melody filled the room. She closed her eyes. In that moment, she felt him. His arms around her, the power of embrace, a reflection of love, a memory of sacrifice, the echo of pain, and above all, the quiet strength that only true love leaves behind.